Don't be cheering. Oh, there it is.
Hey.
There it is. You can go to YouTube right now, you're saying? Is that what you're telling me?
Go to YouTube right now. We are back live on YouTube.
All right. Jason, getting it done.
All right.
Live on YouTube. Perfect timing, too, because in 3 minutes, we're done with television.
There we go.
Folks with their smart TV, and these new TVs are smart TVs, Jason, they can simply go to YouTube and watch the last 30 minutes on their main TV in their den.
That's great. Conveniently switch right over.
Or your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet, your pad, your home computer. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Check out the new digs. I don't know who this strange man to the right of me on the set is. He just came in here and sat down. I think he does janitorial work in the building or something. Anyway, I don't know who you are, sir, but I got Jason right here, our military guy from earlier. Here's Mario Brothers. I don't know who this guy is. Let's call security. Jason, Mario, call security. All right, that's Jason. Anyway, excellent work, Jason.
Happy to help.
Yep. Now all you have to do is explain to me or Mario Brothers how you did it. I guess it's going to be me. It's pretty simple.
It's way simpler than I thought it would be.
Nice.
And it should work flawlessly now that I understand how everything connects.
I like it.
So should be easy setup for everybody.
Don't you like our clean new studio look, Jason?
I do.
Pretty sharp, huh?
Oh man. And you were in that old studio for as long as I've known you.
Well, I mean, let's see.
Try and pull it up.
Well, yeah, no, it's right here.
Yep.
That's what it used to look like.
Yep.
So, a buddy of mine once said, dude, you need a NASCAR zip suit that the drivers wear and just put all the patches on your sleeve, your collar, Now, you want to hear the most ironic, crazy part about all this? I don't wear a shirt like that.
Yeah. You don't wear a
I'm
beater
not,
with cigarettes.
I don't wear a shirt that has any logo on.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm not dogging. Like when I worked at television, like Channel 26, they handed out jackets, and you remember the jacket sat on the chair?
Yeah.
I never wore the jacket unless it got cold in the studio. And then the Channel 26 shirt, I brought it back in. I said, why don't you give it to someone who's going to wear it? And they looked at me like I was crazy, like, giving a gift back.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just don't, I don't know. I'm not into the logo stuff.
It's the old CST logo, by the way.
Yep. Yeah.
Appropriate
Cox Sports Television. Very appropriate. You're right,
there
Mario.
you go.
See, I wouldn't wear that. And even when I worked for Cox Sports Television, I wouldn't wear it.
Fair.
Channel 26, not wearing their shirt. Not wearing it. Anyway, no, that's the funny part. All this signage around me. You think I'd wear the shirt and put like a pro golfer. I could just have some shirts I could put on that would have like, total maintenance here and, like here,
Right.
collar, all that.
Get you one of our flight suits, custom patches, all that stuff.
Well, that's why they're saying the NASCAR zip
zip
suit,
up.
because they must have 50
Oh my
ads on the
God.
zips. I mean, down by the ankles,
Yes.
elbow,
Every
square inch. I mean, it's like the reason it didn't every square inch because they'd all blend together. They need like a little white outline or black or whatever
Right.
the background of the suit is.
Right.
Jeez and Pete's. Anyway, yeah. So we go from that you're seeing on the screen to, what we got now. Bye television. But you can check us out on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing.
The low price of free $99.
Yeah, free $99. Don't cost nothing. Just go to YouTube, put in the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Corey spelled Kaare, and click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. No, and the good thing is we'll continue to have guests on via the phone line, but now we'll be able to bring guests in on the studio. Yep. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Mario Brothers at the controls, 766-9480, 766-9480. Yeah, do yourself a favor as an American tonight. Don't run and hide from this tragedy in Texas. I'm not saying watch for 3 or 4 hours tonight and get depressed, but watch and be informed and have empathy and sympathy and keep the families in your thoughts and prayers and do anything you can to help. I know we have the Cajun Navy over there and the Louisiana National Guard, at least 90 plus killed by this flooding that came out of nowhere, beyond tragic. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave. Oh, there I am.
That was delayed game on me, big time.
Wow, that was a delayed game. We had dead air there, Mario. We blame
was-
Mario Brothers for that dead air.
I heard it, but I guess it wasn't coming.
AKA Latinx. His fault 100% entirely.
Yup.
Even though I can hear my own voice through the headphones and I didn't hear it and pick up on that.
Solely on the producer.
I'm new at this radio thing. I haven't been doing it 30-something years. Mario Brothers, you like this because you were a Baton Rouge sports guy. The first sports station in Louisiana was in BR. It was WIBR, which doesn't even exist anymore. I think it was 1300 on the AM dial. And the tower and the studio were in the same spot in a cow pasture in Port Allen.
Port Allen, across the bridge. Wow.
Had to go to the West Bank of Baton Rouge. You literally pulled up to the tower site. There was the transmitter building, and right next to it, Hell, they're actually one building, just this cinder block building. It was the transmitter, the tower, and under it was the studio, and cows walking all around. You look out the window, there'd be a cow like 5 feet from you. See, the cows were eating the grass and, grazing out there right under the tower. I remember they had a little thing around the tower because, AM, the tower's electrified. You touch an AM tower, you get electrocuted and die. So you have to have a little thing to keep the cows away from the tower itself. But that was sports. Like, I think, what did CBS become for sports radio? Like Infinity or something like that now?
Yeah. I know
But the sports thing is called Sports Flash.
Yes.
That's original from 1992.
Still called
This one-on-one sports network out of Las Vegas that had like Papa Joe Chevalier and this guy Rod Williamstoll, who I've heard like on USA a year ago doing news. He must be like 70 years old. USA Today News. I'm Rod Williamstoll. I'm like, that dude did sports talk out of Vegas in the 90s. He was a lunatic too, but obviously like a radio purist. But their thing was called Sports Flash. And there was no ESPN sports radio. There was none of that. It was one-on-one sports network out of Vegas. And they had 24-hour syndicated programming. So it allowed you to have an all sports station. Now, the first ones were like, the W fan in New York, K fan in Minnesota, Whip in Philly. That's an interesting question. Google that, Mario.
Okay.
First sports talk radio station. I'm assuming it's one of the three I just mentioned. The Whip in Philly, K-Fan in Minneapolis, or WFAN in New York. I'm guessing.
WAFN in New York.
The FAN in New York was the first?
Yep, 1987.
I was going to say 87, 88, something like that. No, it was very fledgling. By like 89 or 90, Baton Rouge had a sports talk station. I graduated from LSU in May, moved back to New Orleans, got a job in Baton Rouge at Channel 2 in the sports department in July. So I literally had to go right back to Baton Rouge. Didn't even rent a place. Stayed on some friends who were still finishing school, like on their sofa.
Nice.
Worked at Channel 2. Had a girlfriend in New Orleans. So every Friday I'd beeline back to New Orleans. But Monday through Friday, I was in Baton Rouge working in the sports department. And then I'll never forget, there were three sports guys. There was Mike Rhodes, Jordy Hultberg, who you've heard of. He was the second string guy. Yeah. And this dude, Bruce Weber from Pittsburgh, was the third string guy. So, Mike Rhodes was the weekday anchor. Jordy was the weekend anchor. And Bruce Weber was the reporter. One day, I'm in the hallway and Bruce Weber's at his desk and he's hunched over one of those old AM transistor radios with like the leatherette little cover. And I'm like, Jordy, what is Bruce doing? Jordy's like, he's listening to AM radio. And I laughed in the hallway out loud. I was like, who listens to AM radio? And he goes, it's some sports talk something or other. I'm like, what? What is sports talk? 3 months later, I'm on that station doing a show. 3 months later, I started listening. I'm driving around in a Channel 2 van. They had the old white, that big white phone, that Motorola phone with the black antenna, that big old brick thing. And they had bag phones back then. Yeah. So I would call in. I was working for a company. I'd call in and talk to the sports talk show hosts. And Bob Broadhead, the old LSU athletic director, was doing a show in the middle of the afternoon. And I was listening to it, and Bob's like, well, he was kind of irritated. So we'll be right back. And they take like a break at like 1:40. They come back at like 1:43, and it's satellite programming from that one-on-one sports network. I'm like, what happened to Broadhead? I mean, middle of the show, not even top of the hour. So I called the station. What happened to Bob's show? They're like, Bob no longer works here. And they like hung up on me. They were just obviously dealing with some crap at the time. Clearly. So literally, it was a Friday. I drove to Port Allen in the Channel 2 van with the photographer. We had knocked out some high school story or something. I didn't want to say story. I didn't do anything. I just was with the photographer, holding a mic to the coach, asking the coach questions. I wasn't on camera. And then they just used the coach's answers, So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was doing sports. So anyway, where was I in the story? Damn, I forget where I was in the story.
Bob's not here anymore. They were going
Yeah,
to
something went down.
Oh,
You went to see what the story was.
with with
The guy that got fired, Broadhead.
yeah.
Yeah, Broadhead.
Thank you.
There you go.
So Bob Broadhead, thank God you guys are paying attention. Bob Broadhead gets fired in the middle of the show. So I go down there and I pull up and they see the Channel 2 van. I didn't even think about this, but I think I just walked right in. I was like, hey, how you doing? My name's Corey Johnson. I work at Channel 2. I do sports and I'd love to do a show here. And I just heard Bob got fired or whatever. And literally the guy's like looking at me and he's looking out the window and he sees the van. Like I didn't catch on to that later. I thought he was like distracted or something, but he's looking, he sees the Channel 2 van. So he knows I'm legitimate. And then he goes, have you ever been on radio before? And I said, yeah, some KLSU. And he goes, oh, I worked at KLSU. I was like, great. And I didn't say anything. I never worked at KLSU. I would just call KLSU and they'd put me on. I'd be like, could you play Led Zeppelin? And then we'd all laugh. Corey was on the radio asking for Led Zeppelin. So I didn't say I worked at KLSU. He asked, have you ever been on radio? I said, yes, KLSU.
You didn't lie.
And he goes, I worked at KLSU. So immediately he thought I worked there like he did. And I didn't say anything. I just kind of smiled. And then he kind of looked at the schedule and he called somebody. And I guess that dude was doing the morning and he would rather do Broadhead's shift. And then he goes, can you start Monday at 10 a.m.? I said, of course. So I left there going, Jesus. So I started Monday. I had a 10 a.m. to noon show. So right when I got home, like, I've never done radio in my life. How am I going to go in there and do 2 hours? So I called this guy, Todd Black, the high school coach.
Yeah, still hosts a show.
Yeah. Todd was working at Channel 2 also, like me, fledgling, trying to get into the business. It's like, Todd, and I didn't even know Todd. I just had met him at Channel 2. It's like, Todd, you want to do a sports radio show? I got this gig at IBR. You want to start with me Monday at 10 a.m.? He said, yeah. He lived like out by Brightside, like way out. I lived by the Perkins Road overpass by George's. So we'd literally meet under the Perkins Road overpass. I'd either jump in his car, he'd jump in my car. For the 10 minutes going to Port Allen, we discussed what we were talking about. I'd have a show sheet like I do now with a few topics. He just did it off the top of his head. I'm like, all right, this is what we'll talk about. Monday, we went in and started doing a show, and that's how it started. And I remember Bruce Weber called me a couple of weeks in. It took 2 weeks. Stop saying we. You talk about LSU, you talk about Saints, you keep saying we like you're a fan. So within 2 weeks, I 86 the we, and then the rest is history.
There you go.
Crazy.
Dang.
Who's this joker listening to AM radio? Who listens to AM radio? 3 months later, I'm on that station.
Crazy story.
And then New Orleans this was, I guess I started working there in like August or something of 91 when I graduated from LSU. And then by March of 92, I'd been there like 6-7 months. Sports 1280 popped up in New Orleans and they wrestled the rights away from WWL, like QEUE. Q9 was Q. It was called 13Q. And it was their AM station. They changed it to Sports 1280. And we had the rights to the Saints for 3 years. And I literally borrowed, I didn't even have a car. I borrowed my friend JP's white 4-door car. I said, dude, I got to go into town. I had an interview with them. And I went up there and it was at the Tidewater building. Ken Wente was the guy. And I said, I'm doing a show presently in Baton Rouge. I'd love to come in and do a show here. And they're like, what about the 3 to 5 slot? I was like, perfect. And then all of a sudden I'm doing a show 3 to 5 in New Orleans. And like Baton Rouge, I was like, I don't want to do it by myself. And a buddy of mine, Russell Prody, who was getting his MBA at UNO, knew more about sports than I ever knew, was so knowledgeable and knew everything. I was like, Russ, you're getting your MBA at UNO. Playing your classes around my show and you want to do the show. He's like, love to, because he loves sports. He loved it. So he joined me for about a year. And then another buddy of mine, Curtis Amon, did it for about 2 or 3 years while he was getting his degree and working in the athletic department at Tulane. And then Katrina hit. So I guess that was like 92 to 05, like 13 years I did sports talk. And then I just said, kind of got into the news stuff, and I still love sports. That's why I get Fletcher on Friday or Brett Martell on Mondays, but Brett's on assignment. That's why we're not having him on today. But anyway, no. So I said I'm going to just do talk. And since I guess 05, I've just been doing talk. And that's my life story. Why did the ratings thing go from way up high to zero? What happened to the audience? What happened to the audience, Mario Brothers?
I enjoyed the stories, man.
Thank you, man.
I enjoyed it because I remember meeting you on 1280.
Yeah, your dad was over there.
Yep.
With iHeart.
Yep, for the longest.
Yeah.
I remember it before it was iHeart. I remember it when it was still Clear Channel.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Now, where did we meet?
So that was, God, in those last couple years before they lost 1280 or whatever, I was picking up shifts from DeCorbier.
Gotcha.
I was filling in. And
Gotcha.
him,
That's how we
when
met.
He started his
yes.
show. He needed more time.
Gotcha.
I started picking up the show from him.
And what were you doing? You were board up in like QUEYLD, the FMs?
Yep.
NOE, all that?
Yep. And then it eventually just got to me just handling all of 1280.
And then we ended up driving you to the military.
Yep.
Corey Johnson with you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters.
And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're checking us out on YouTube, that's just Jason hanging around, our old producer. He came in. I was like, sit in the nice, comfortable chair. I just bought the damn thing from the New Orleans Design Center, by the way. I mean, these are high-end guys. This chair is nice.
Very nice.
I brought it in here. I was like, I was kind of bummed. I was like, I should bring this in my house and take a chair from my house and bring it over here. I'm like, I don't have a nice chair at my house that'll fit the studio. No, the New Orleans Design Center. I didn't get any special deal. I paid full price for it, but I'm just letting you know where they are. They're designers for interior designers. Interior designers go to them. That Lowe's on Jefferson Highway, right by Claiborne, right by the parish line. Across the street from that is a Salvation Army store. Right behind the Salvation Army store is the New Orleans Design Center. And that's where I got that chair from. And Jason was doing some work over here, getting us on YouTube and the like, since we have a new studio, lots of new equipment. And Mario Brothers is drunk. I mean, just hammered. Came in here wasted, just drunk. So we can't get anything out of him. Plus, he's on some type of narcotic. My grandmother used to say he's on dope. And I'd be like, Grandma, what kind of dope? Well, Satu is what I call her. Like, he's smoking something, injecting pills. He's on dope. And she didn't even know, but he was on dope. And Mario Brothers isn't on dope, and he's not on narcotics, and he's not drunk. He actually does a good job. I was telling him, Jason, he's like you, man, enthusiastic and comes in fired up. Anyway, Jason was getting us on YouTube because we have a new studio. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. Just to give you an idea, we did this a little while ago. If you're watching, you can see the screen behind me. That's what we used to look like. All the signage and all of that, kind of the old school radio booth that essentially it was a radio booth that we just sort of made it into a television, studio. And now we've got what you're looking at on YouTube and that you can watch on TV. Oh boy, more personal life. I don't know if I can talk about this one. Hey, I text my vet. Hope you had a good 4th. Hey, can Mr. Tolley have some olive oil? Extra virgin, of course. Was going to mix a little in with some of his kibble. And she said, hey there, might cause loose stool, but just a dash is okay. Low sodium chicken broth is okay to add in. Totally, I've spoiled him. He likes wet food with his dry food. He's, 12 plus now. So he's gotten a little finicky and picky, Jason. So, but the problem is the damn wet food's like $1.50 a pouch.
They're expensive.
So I'm going to go get a rotisserie chicken and just cut that up, and it's going to be
way cheaper.
It's way a rotisserie chicken
Unseasoned
is
rotisserie
cheaper
chicken.
than this wet crap in these pouches you add to dry kibble that's made in like Taiwan or Singapore or somewhere.
Rotisserie chickens, like steamed green beans.
No, the frozen green beans that you can give them those as a treat. Frozen strawberries.
Yes.
No, they love all that. But I need something to get him into eating the food, and he's sort of like, this wet. First off, he's like, kibble. You gave me filet mignon the other night. I had speckled trout you were eating, Corey. And he's like, I don't want the kibble. And then he's like, and then you give me this wet food that's dog food, wet food. I want chicken broth. I want some cut up chicken from Rotisso. I'm kind of screwed now, Plus, he's, like I said, he's 12 plus. So it's his house. I just pay the mortgage, He totally does whatever he wants. Oh, Mr. Tolley. He's about to be, I think I got, I had a Blue Boy and Tolley photo. I think I'm putting Blue Boy right here and Sparky the kitten's going right there. Yeah, Sparky lived till 20 and Blue Boy 19.
Oh my.
Yeah, incredible. So they get special props on the studio set. Anyway. Hey, check out some national news tonight, some of the network news. We're all Americans. This Texas flood thing affects us all. Just watch a little so you know what's going on. Hopefully some more heroes popped up and some more lives were saved. Keep those families in your thoughts and prayers, and donate to Red Cross and anybody else you can donate. If you have the wherewithal to go there and help, Cajun Navy's over there, the Louisiana National Guard's over there. You have a truck, you have a generator, you've got a boat that can, go in a foot of water like a Hayes boat or something like that. Get over there and help. Get over there and help. They could use it. But Also, keep these folks in your thoughts and prayers. Just tragic. Like coming out of nowhere, rapids, a 15, 20-foot rise in water within minutes. No way to warn anyone, no way to get out of there. 90 plus have been killed, dozens and dozens missing. The death toll is supposed to exceed 100. By the time I get home and watch some of the national news tonight, it's gonna. Now I'm gonna watch for a little while. I'm gonna get a little carpal tunnel. I'm gonna pop over to different networks, but I'm not gonna watch for 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it's depressing, but I'm gonna watch because I want to be informed. And these are fellow Americans, and they deserve our attention. That's how I look at it. I don't know how you could run from it and not be interested or not want to watch. Again, you don't have to watch for 6 hours. You don't have to watch all day. But I think it's our duty as Americans to watch a little. Less than 100 days till the mayoral election. Less than 100 days till the city of New Orleans elects a new mayor who will take over in January. Speaking of the mayor, Mayor Junket Cantrell telling the crowd at Essence, she was public speaker at some event, saying she's, it's a way of being a mayor. You go from being like a hero and beloved to crucified. It's like, you never a hero or beloved, and the reason you're crucified is all on you. The junkets, the belligerent attitude, the criminal behavior, at the very least, the unethical, immoral behavior. And then just the I don't give a crap attitude. I'd use the S word, which I think I can. I think I can in 2025, but I don't use those. I remember when I got on Radio Mario Brothers, Jason, years ago, I said, I'm not going to the strip joints. I'm not going to talk TNA. I'm not going to do it. Just not going to drink on the air, not going to curse, not going to do a podcast where I get drunk on whiskey and drop F-bombs all the time because it's a podcast. And I curse enough. I'm a Yaddy New Orleans. I curse at the gym. I curse with my friends. I was with my mom and brother. My mom's 94. I slipped out the S word in front of my mom at lunch yesterday. Didn't even phase her. It's because it was applicable. Do you know what was hitting the fan? We'll be back tomorrow, mañana, straight up 4 o'clock. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Cox Channel 4 television statewide. Spectrum Channel 333 television statewide. And because of this guy, we're back on YouTube. And Bell Chase aircraft, helicopters are flying because of this guy. And I'm back on YouTube. And there's Boo Boy. What, buddy? Thank Jason. You hadn't seen him in a while. Tell him hello. Will do, buddy. Thank Mario Brothers. It's nice. He cares. He's always putting in a good effort. Yep. Thank the viewing and listening audience. And what else, buddy? Remind folks to come back tomorrow, Tuesday's show, straight up 4 o'clock on radio, television, and YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, you right. See you mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.